What made you catfish your own brother? My 14-year-old brother Dylan used to be the shy kid. Then he discovered how to bypass age verification on dating apps. And suddenly my introverted little brother transformed into what he called a digital playboy. He'd sit at dinner swiping right on literally everyone, his thumb moving so fast it was just a blur across his phone screen. I'm getting better matches than guys in college, he'd brag to our parents, who were so detached they didn't care even if Dylan got preyed on. Dylan's entire personality suddenly warped around his match count. He'd wake up at 5 a.m. to catch the morning swipe surge and stayed up until 3 a.m. messaging every single match. His grades went from straight A's to D's within 3 weeks. He quit the robotics club and turned down hanging out with his actual friends. Rachel from Miami wants to FaceTime, he'd announce. Or Jessica from Boston says I'm mature for my age. Those AI names gave me literal headaches. Then one day, my stupid little brother announced at dinner that his girlfriend Sarah, another obviously AI name, wanted to meet him. She was supposedly 15, lived 2 towns over, and they'd been talking for 3 weeks. She'd been asking him to send money for her sick mother's medication, and Dylan had already Venmo'd her $150 of his monthly allowances. Now she wanted to meet at an abandoned warehouse because it was romantic and private. Every red flag in the universe was waving right at me, but when I pulled Dylan aside and tried to explain he was being catfished, probably by some middle-aged predator, he exploded in anger. You're just jealous because I get more matches than you ever did. Sarah loves me. She even sends me poems. Our bond is special. Like, dude, you're being catfished by a textbook predator. But sure, go ahead and yell at me. Your only hope of survival. When I tried to insist on coming with him for safety, he said if I showed up, he'd never speak to me again. That's when I realized I had to save him from himself. I couldn't let my little brother walk into what was obviously a dangerous trap, but I also couldn't stop him directly since my parents wouldn't take away his phone. So I came up with a plan that would make him see the danger without knowing I was involved. I went to a costume shop and bought a cheap horror movie mask, one of those generic creepy ones that covers your whole face, like the one from Scream. I even found dark clothes from Goodwill that looked nothing like anything I owned. If Dylan thought he was meeting a cute teenage girl but encountered something that triggered his survival instincts instead, maybe he'd finally understand how vulnerable he'd made himself. On the fateful day, I watched Dylan leave the house wearing his best cologne and the expensive jacket he'd bought specifically for this date. I left 10 minutes after him, taking a different route with my car to arrive first. I positioned myself in the shadows between the buildings, my heart pounding as I heard his footsteps approaching. He was actually texting Sarah, saying he was almost there, giving literal clues to someone who was about to eat him. When he got within 10 feet of me, I suddenly burst out from the shadows, rushing toward him. I saw how his expression changed from joyful to terrified at a moment's notice. Then right at the last second, just as I was about to grab his arm, I pretended to trip and fall hard onto the concrete, letting out a guttural yell. I scrambled to my feet, the mask making my breathing sound ragged and terrifying, and growled in a disguised voice, "Come here, kid. She's waiting for you inside." Dylan's face went pale, his legs collapsed under him, and he slowly backed away, looking at me in horror. Who are you? Where's Sarah? Did you do something to her? Oh my god, this kid was even more stupid than I thought. I had to up my act. Oh, don't worry. Sarah is inside my van. Let's go and meet her together, shall we? I could see the gears turning in his head, finally understanding the type of situation he'd walked right into. He violently took off his jacket, threw it at me to block my vision, and then full sprinted towards home at a speed I'd never seen before. I quickly ditched the mask in a dumpster and took a different route home, arriving 30 minutes after him. I found him in his room, deleting every dating app from his phone with shaking hands. "Hey, you're back early. How was the date?" I asked, playing innocent. He looked up at me and I could see sweat dripping down his cheeks. "You were right. It was a setup. There was this guy in a mask, and he said she was waiting inside." Oh god, what if I had actually gone in there? He showed me his phone. He was blocking Sarah and reporting the profile. His hands were still shaking. Clearly he was a little traumatized by the event. I've been so stupid. She wasn't even real, was she? I actually sent money to some creep. I could have been kidnapped, or worse. I nodded. Yeah, probably worse. Anyway, at least you're safe now.